Sew, a podcast about sewing machines, sewing history, and sewing culture in the past and present. I am your producer and co-host, Aradia, daughter of your main host, T.R. Kelly, who is here today to talk to you about Halloween costumes and scary customers and alternative costume construction ideas for your 2024 festivities. As I'm sure you can imagine, Halloween is one of the worst offenders for fast fashion and retail nightmares, but it is also a really fun opportunity to play with your creative side. Whether you are going as a Disney princess or your own invented character, the stakes have never been lower. But, unfortunately, as we will hear, the needed skills have never been lower either. Happily, we at Used to Sew are able to offer some ideas and reassurances that even the least crafty listener can take to heart. And if that isn't motivating enough, can I tempt you with stories of our own personal childhood costumes?
It's October. The sun is golden, the air is blue, kids are back in school, and the countdown to Halloween. Oh, it's scary as hell if you work in a retail fabric store at Halloween. You know why? Because everybody wants to make a costume.
Everybody.
And
everybody.
The really good ones will start weeks ahead of time and maybe gather their materials, get the sewing machine out of the, call Aunt Phyllis. Hey, Aunt Phyllis, can you sew me a, oh, sure, honey, and she whips out her sewing machine. But in fabric retail, October was, when I was in fabric retail in the 1980s, October was the busiest month because Halloween.
And it gets progressively more busy the closer you get to the end, because that's how the tiers of procrastinators are hitting their respective deadlines.
Oh, yeah. So here we are, the weekend. Okay, I think it was 1987. I probably have to look at a calendar to find out. It was either 87 or 88. Maybe it was 89. Halloween was midweek, which is terrible because the weekend before is a shopping frenzy, right? And this is before that Spirit Halloween mall stores.
Sure.
Halloween wasn't as big a deal commercially in the 80s as it is now in 2024. So there was your basic boxed costumes that you could get at Bi-Mart, whatever your mart of choice is. But for really good costumes, especially, if you're going to be in contests, you want to have a good costume. So here comes all these people. It's the 27th or 28th of October, weekend before Halloween. They're just coming in the doors looking frantic. I don't have a costume yet. Now, we were cool enough or weird enough, or it was retail enough that we actually had a rack of ready-made costumes that our thing had sent to us. Distributor, whatever. But people come in, and there's in the pattern books, big pattern books, it's a whole section, costumes, which is all the Halloween stuff and all the Christmas pageant stuff and all the pioneer, any kind of costume you can think of. This is before political correctness and people knowing about cultural appropriation. So there were costumes for every ethnicity. Hey, we want to dress up like Hindus or whatever.
Sure. I mean, we still got that. We're still learning.
And Halloween at the time, it was still okay to dress up as somebody else's culture.
Right. Which,
that's not okay now.
But also you had to put a lot more effort into it. Now you get this Spirit Halloween bullshit that's not even crafting anymore.
No.
At least you had to work for your cultural appropriation back in the 80s,
Yeah, there would be stuff you could buy. Even if you were going to sew your costume, let's say you wanted to be a Native American or a, quote, Oriental. You could buy a long black wig. Right,
yeah.
Because that's not something you can really make. Okay, so here comes Mrs. Customer with her 3 very cranky, bored, sugar-overloaded children running into the store. And I'm the first department in the store. I'm the sewing machine department. Do you rent sewing machines?
Oh, this is before maker spaces were a thing. Because you can rent sewing machines in a maker space.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yes,
Some
you
of them.
can. You can, and you usually have to complete a skill thing before they'll let you on the machine.
Sure.
So here's Mrs. Customer and the 3 little urchins who, oh wow, these sewing machines look fun. Each one takes a machine and starts twisting knobs and dials for all they're worth, because this is the toy department, right?
Oh, no.
Mrs. Customer is paying no attention to the children. Do you rent sewing machines? No, ma'am, we don't, but it looks like your little son there might want to buy that one, the way he's operating it. Get your hands off that, Bobby. Well, I need costumes and da-da-da-da. It's like, it's all I can do to say, your lack of prior planning is not my problem, ma'am.
Yeah.
What would the little kiddos like to be? So, yes, no, we don't rent sewing machines. We got that question all the time. Rent sewing machines? Are you kidding me? This is a piece of precision machinery. Do you know how to sew? No, you don't. Forget it. Go away. Leave me alone. Customer number 2. I used to sew. I want to make a costume. Okay, here's my sewing machine. Can you fix it for me? It's obviously been sitting in the basement since the Nixon administration. No, I can't. I can give you trade-in allowance on... So the other customer that would come in, I could actually... And I couldn't fix their machine that close to Halloween. No, it's not going to happen. But I can sell you this really cool old trade-in. So I sold a lot of inexpensive used machines to people. It's like, no, I don't rent them, but you can buy this used, it'll do a straighten. You can kill this for $50 and nobody's going to care, okay? Just buy this. Don't buy the $200 one over at Sears. Just. I hated to say it, but, this is going to be a disposable machine if she lets those little urchins start playing with it. So, yeah, Halloween was a great time to sell used machines. The cheapest, grungiest ones that you could sew on. And I would just tell the customer, I go, look, and my cheapest machines were usually $35. Doesn't sound like much now, probably $100 now.
Sure, yeah.
These are all the old trade-ins that I had, I messed with them. They work. Hey, you can buy this, and you know what? I'm going to thread it up for you. What color's your... go buy your thread. I'll even put the thread in it. All you got to do is step on the gas.
Because this is someone who sews but once a decade, and it's always for a costume party, and they're just really not in the sewing machine. Like, they're not doing maintenance. They're not, understanding how to pick their materials.
This is the only time civilians even think of sewing machines. Is at Halloween.
Right, or when there's a school play.
They have vague memories of their moms or aunts or whoever making a costume for the school play, for Halloween. Those are the big ones, right? Or some kind of, around here in Oregon, we had an Oregon Trail Days kind of festival where you dressed up like...
Also in autumn, I assume?
It was actually in July. Oh. Applegate Trail Days.
I would have done it in September, October, but go off.
Yeah, school was in session. Can't take all those kids' nickels and dimes and the glass cost. Okay, so this is kind of a veer off from Halloween. Because this is number 3 customer comes in. She knows what she's doing. She's sewing costumes for the other customers' kids. Basically, she is my neighbor when I was a little kid because my mom hated sewing. She was terrible at it. She tried to make me a mouse costume for the night before Christmas and all through the house. I was the mouse, so I had to wear this little gray mouse costume. Well, she cut up my dad's gray flannel jogging suit or fleece or sweatshirts or whatever. She forgot seam allowance. So basically I'm packed into this little tubular... the mouse can barely squeak out onto the stage here. So the next year for the pageant, let's get Mrs. Haynes to do it. Okay, Mrs. Haynes had unusual for the time, she had an entire sewing room.
Wow.
Mrs. Haynes wound up making me at least 3 Christmas costumes and 2 Applegate Trail Days costumes.
Wow.
But that kind of customer, when they come into the store... They'd go over to the fabric section, then you'd be gathering on. Then she'd come over to the sewing machine section. She'd go, I need some leather needles. Oh, What gauge? Oh, size 18. Oh, what are you sewing? You know, it's like, yeah, all right. What are you making? Oh, I'm going to be making this whole Robin Hood outfit with leather boots and this and that. Oh, how are you going to do this? Oh, da, da, da. Have you ever had a serger? Mm-hmm. Oh, a great time to sell a new machine, right? Because back to the sales training I received from the Singer Sewing Machine Company, every repair is a sale. Every encounter with a customer is a sale. If there's no customers in your department, go out in the fabric section and find one. Oh, Halloween, this is easy. I'm out wandering, because really people aren't buying sewing machines. They're there for costumes. So I really wouldn't have a whole lot to do once I told them we don't rent them. I sold all my old ones, and here's your needles. Now there's no customers. The store is bustling, but my department, nobody. All right. Hey there, Mrs. Customer. What are you making today?
I'm supposed to be making the stupid goddamn. You waited till the last minute, and then you told me you needed.
Okay. Yeah, weekend before Halloween. Okay. Oh, there's a couple kids with pink hair. Now, this is the 80s. Pink hair was not. I was like, oh my God. Hi, what are you guys making? Oh, we've got a party to go to. And they were looking at all this shiny, shiny stuff. Are you going to sew that? I'm thinking. Oh, no, man. I'm just going to cut a hole in it and put my head through. Ah, damn. Okay, have a good time. But just a general atmosphere of chaos. People are being forced to think about making their own anything right now.
Right, you have a really high concentration of people all going through the same existential creative crisis of like...
That's exactly what it is.
I'm procrastinating, I'm not creative, I need to pick up this skill, I don't know where to start. Every other customer...
All that. You just synopsized the whole smell of the store.
Oh, it's...
In the last half of October. It was like the creative desperation.
Yeah, because none of them do it the rest of the year, right? It's not a normal vibe. They're all out of their depth.
Oh, yeah, and here I am sitting on the edge of my department now, watching the fray, because nobody wants to talk to the sewing machine salesperson. And this lone person comes, I'm right next to the craft department. So once in a while, you know, what are they buying over there, blah, meow, etc. Excuse me, yeah? Is there any costumes I can make that don't need sewing? Well, my mom used to put a white sheet over my head and cut 2 holes in it. Do you have scissors?
I mean, you know.
You could be a ghost. That was always the fallback.
Yeah.
If your mom didn't sew, she'd go find the oldest sheet, cut some holes in it. Okay, now you're a ghost. Okay, now we know the kind of, that's not an okay costume anymore because racism, because KKK, because all kinds of things. But that was, oh, and the other politically incorrect costume you can make without sewing is you can be a bum.
Sure.
Because lack of access to dental care is always funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not having the right clothes, you know. And that one is still, you know, you go in the fabric store and you can buy, I'm not kidding you, you can buy hillbilly teeth.
I feel like that's not a fabric store item, but that's just me.
Well, fabric stores now have become so overrun with crafts.
That's the freaking problem. You gotta wade through the crafts to get back to the fabric department.
The sewing machine department was twice as big as the crafts department, which were both dwarfed by the fabric department. Nowadays, you walk into a store, there's no sewing machines. Maybe there's a few on a box, but nobody can show you how to use them or anything. Half, maybe a third fabric, and the rest is all that, excuse me, made in China, glue it together yourself sort of crafts.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that person that would come over and ask me, is there anything I can make without sewing? You have a hot glue gun?
Right, yeah.
You know, so crafts really, because people were losing their sewing skills. What can I make with a glue gun? Not what can I make with a sewing machine?
Right, right. So you're seeing the diminishment of skills.
And I'm going to sound super old-fashioned and trad here, but when home economics was taken out of school curriculum, where is a kid going to use a sewing machine? Now, later on, it wasn't, I think it was my brother was the first class where it wasn't called Home Ec and Wood Shop. It was called Career Explorations. This is 1978 in Washington State. He got to make a cool barbecue apron on a sewing machine. Yeah.
I got to use a sewing machine, but I was not in public school.
No.
So not really a fair comparison.
But your school still believed in teaching you guys knitting and cooking. Aradia went to Waldorf school, in case you're wondering. They teach you actual, things you need to know to survive. In addition to a lot of weird stuff about gnomes.
We learned how to write in cursive.
Oh. You didn't learn how to drive stick shift, though. They were not really...
Well, I did leave in 8th grade because there wasn't a high school in the town I was growing up in, so...
Your dad and I put sewing machines in that school.
Oh, yeah, it was you guys.
Yes,
you got a chunk of money and put it into having a whole fleet of sewing machines, which was still the fleet when I got to the grade where we actually used them.
The first time they had sewing machines, it was a collection of ones I put together. No two were alike. And then Gordon got a bunch of money and we bought 25 matching machines or something.
And that was what they had when I was there. They were a little bit on the worn side because it had been several years by the time I got to that class.
But it wasn't just that we bought the machines, people. I'm going to say this. We bought the dealer because a sewing machine is a sewing machine is a sewing machine. If you can't fix it yourself, even if you can, if you're going to buy a modern sewing machine, you need to buy the dealership. You need to buy the relationship there. Don't go to Walmart and pay $200 for a sewing machine by, quote, Singer or whoever, and then take it to a real Singer dealer and expect them to work on it and honor your warranty. It doesn't work like that. If you want to buy a sewing machine and you're seriously into it, don't buy it from any mart. Don't buy one in a box. Don't buy one that's under $500. Don't buy a sewing machine from somebody who isn't a sewing machine dealer, whether it be new or vintage. Don't buy a sewing machine at a fabric store or a department store. Definitely buy one at a thrift store. Especially if it's two-tone and covered with chrome.
Or from our sponsor, Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine.
That's right. Let's have a word from our sponsor. This episode of Used to Sew is brought to you by Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, the unofficial sponsor of this podcast.
Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine is a very small rural business run by our friend Mike Kramer.
Whether you inherited an old sewing machine that needs refurbishing and repair,
or are looking to buy a high-quality older machine,
Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine is here for you.
If you don't have a machine of your own yet,
he has many fine machines in his shop just waiting for restoration.
They used to sew, and you did too.
Visit Stagecoach Road Sewing Machine at stagecoachroadsewing.com
to see the variety of vintage beasts and beauties that could be yours today.
Stay threaded.
So, to return to the topic of costume.
Right.
Halloween. This is also, maybe a place where people can engage in slow fashion versus fast fashion. I mean, it is challenging to craft your own costumes, but it is possible.
Let's get back to the costumes and the people in the fabric store, which they didn't have to be in there. Costume materials are available at any thrift store, in your own closet. What is it that you want to be? If you're trying to sew a costume, obviously you're putting some creative thought into it. You're not going to go by the box and the rubber mask and call it good. What is your character? Who are you going to be? Are you going to be, I remember some little girl that I used to know maybe 30 years ago who wanted to be Jasmine.
How did I know you were going to pick Jasmine as the example? How did I know? I knew it.
Mom, can I be Jasmine? So what did I do? I watched the movie for the 395th time with you. But I drew a picture. What is the element of what is Jasmine? Okay, she's this light purple. She has this headband thing. Her pants are kind of this shape. So, what's the costume? Okay, now what do I need to make it? Well, I need this fabric and that fabric. Where can I find that? Okay, I actually went to the fabric store for that one. Because I worked at the fabric store, so yeah, of course. But I would have went and looked for a pink satin bed sheet.
Sure.
All the pieces in that costume could have been easily thrifted. I go to the fabric or to the thrift store now, and often buy clothes that there's no way they're going to fit me, and the people look at me, it's like, I go, I cut all this stuff up for fabric. You know, I don't care what size it is. But, okay, what's your, you know, look at the picture.
The shapes, the colors.
The shapes, the colors, and just start sewing. I mean, especially if you're buying this stuff used, you don't have a whole lot of money invested in it. It's a freaking costume, for Pete's sake. Just hack and sew. Use the hot glue gun.
That's the fun thing about costumes, is that it really doesn't matter, like, how good it is, unless you're in some sort of, like, very competitive, like, group. But, like, anything that's outside of what you would normally wear is exciting. So, yeah, literally hot glue gunned nonsense and secondhand rhinestones.
Completely.
Weird shiny fabric that you found somewhere.
Completely. Don't think you're trying to live up to the standards of the boxed costume, because it's not very hard.
No. Plus, you know, maybe you'll end up learning a skill on something where there's no effort. Because sometimes it's easier to learn a skill when there's no stakes.
Yes.
And it's just for, like, you know, a dimly lit alcohol-soaked Halloween party. Like, absolutely. So it's fine. But then you're like, oh, maybe I could actually repair my, like, jeans that I, like, actually wear in real life.
Some of the first things I wanted to sew were costume items when I was 10, 11, 12, and I didn't have a sewing machine. But it was the same thing. It's like, what defines the character? Is it an accessory? Is it a hat? Is it a belt? Is it a certain kind of shirt? What's going to make people go, oh, that's Jasmine? Well, the little headband with the doohickey in the middle.
That's very important. The headband is
important.
And
the poofy pants and the little shirt, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, okay, that's Jasmine. We know who that is. Yeah, like if you wanted to say parody Donald Trump, that's super easy. You would get a big navy blue suit, a white shirt, a long red tie, and a yellowish wig, and people are going to know, because that character is very easily defined.
The shapes and colors.
Shapes and colors. So whatever your character is, if you made it up out of your head, or if it's a character, look at the shapes and colors, then go thrifting.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of you making me costumes, you made me the Aradiapedia costume.
Yes.
Much more recently. It's actually hanging behind us now.
It actually is. It actually
part of it. And that you did thrift all of that.
All of
costume.
It. All of it.
Because you were not working at a fabric store just 3 years ago or whenever it was you made it for me. So for those who don't know, I have this Wheel of Time persona called Aradiapedia. I got a character drawn of it by Memo. I'll put a link in the description. Memo is a very cool member of that community. She drew this really awesome picture of me that really captures my essence and just kind of put me in some like brown Aja stuff. And then Mom saw it and was like, I could make that. So now I have a costume that lets me look like the cartoon caricature of me in my persona. So it's all very meta and weird, but there's these cool little like leg pieces that have this pink like jewel thing on them that Memo just added, you know, for shits and giggles because it's a drawing. There's no limits. And then you went and found what, like a little girl's fanny pack with this like plastic shiny stuff and like cut it out and made it. It looks exactly like the drawing.
Like the picture. So I was looking at the drawing, which is because it was a cartoon, it's like it's very obvious the shapes and colors. And those leg pieces, it was like, ooh, it's like it looks like tall boots. And so it's the front of the calf has this big jeweled pink iridescent thing on it. Yeah, it was a little girl's fanny pack in this iridescent vinyl.
Very fuchsia.
Now, bringing this like all back to sewing machines, what am I going to sew that with? I sewed that with an 1894 Davis vertical feed because there was that, and then there was the leather framework around that piece. So the needle had to pierce through that, and it all had to stay together, folks. Vertical feed, even feed foot. Very useful when you're sewing costumes. Yeah, that's another thing about sewing machines and costumes. If you're going to sew a costume and it's weird fabric, look online. Most of the time, if your sewing machine's not working and you're doing weird fabric, there's a problem with you using the wrong needle or the wrong thread or the wrong stitch length, you know? So yeah, sewing your Aradiapedia thing was like, what does this look like? Okay, there's big bloofy brown pants. So I went and bought a sheet, a brown sheet, cotton sheet, make the bloofy pants. The little leg things, was it corduroy or something? But yeah, this like just, for most people, color is the key.
Yes. Color is where it's at.
Color is the key.
And comfort. I mean, most people don't care about comfort as much as they should, but like, us neurodivergent types really need our comfortability. factored high in our costumes, which is another reason why it's good to make your own.
It fits you, your own body.
And won't have tags where you need them to not have tags, because you will have removed them.
Yeah. Well, and you brought up something with the Aradiapedia thing. This is not just a Halloween costume. This is something that's part of the fandom. It's more cosplay. You go to cons.
Yeah.
This is more serious stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm wearing it many times.
Yeah. So that's one of the categories in the fabric store now is cosplay fabrics. Amazing fabrics for people to create all these creatures. We're talking furs and metal looks and glittery things and spandex. These are not something that you can sew just poof like a cotton shirt. Each one of those weird fabrics has a machine tweak that's associated with it.
So try to set your costuming standards appropriate to your skill level. Don't set yourself up for failure by trying to sew, a mermaid outfit or something out of stretchy
spandex.
Yeah, don't try that for your first project. Like, wait until you've done something, anything first.
Your first project, the most forgiving fabric would be a printed dark cotton calico, which throws you right into Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, make yourself a nice pioneer outfit.
Yeah, because small prints and dark colors really hide stitching variances and stains, of course, if you're doing... cotton calico, hey, if you're doing, like, Frontier Reenactment or Rendezvous or anything from the, about 1800 to 1900 especially, cotton calico is your friend.
If you're including a sewing machine in your costume, you want to go vintage, you can wear calico.
You can. You can go to Little House on the Prairie. Mom got her first sewing machine. So anyway, costuming, sewing, they go together. Costuming is different than clothing because costuming, and I'm not talking about regalia or cosplay or any other special garments that you don't wear very often. Costuming... And I'm not talking about theater, because those have to get worn and worn hard. I'm talking about your Halloween throwaway costume. Yeah, get out your sewing machine. What are you going to wreck? Do it. If you don't have one, don't buy one now.
No, now's the wrong time to learn.
Now's the wrong time. Costumes. Don't buy ready-made costumes in a box from Spirit Halloween. You can do better than that. That's fast fashion of the very worst kind. It's designed to last one day.
One evening, and it's falling apart by the end of the night.
Not to mention, it's full of nasty chemicals that they have to douse that cheap fabric in to keep it fireproof. So, to make a costume, go to the thrift store, go to Goodwill, go to St. Vinny's, go to Salvation Army, go to your local junior league, Humane Society, whatever it is. Look in the back of your own closet. Do you have stuff that's like so far out of style that it's a costume now?
Interesting fabrics you could turn into something entirely new.
Absolutely. You can cut the bottom off a dress and put elastic on the top, and now it's like a go-go skirt from 1960 or something like that. So be creative in your costuming. Use your sewing machine. Use your hot glue gun.
But use your hand needles.
Don't use new materials.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Be creative without consuming. Last year I made a possum costume. I bought a new piece of fabric. Now I feel I have to wear that costume for the rest of my life.
Make better choices.
And there you have it, a series of loosely organized tangents around Halloween costuming. We covered the vibe of mid-October retail in the 80s, the existential crisis of once-a-year sewers, and some ideas for how to break down your dream costume into manageable and affordable pieces. This episode helped me appreciate the challenges of learning to sew in a pre-internet age, and also makes me want to find more reasons to wear costumes throughout the year. Do you have any fun or terrible stories about your costume adventures? Please share them with us via email or social media. We'll even share your story on the podcast, if you're into that kind of thing. As a reminder, we are unofficially sponsored by Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, who do repairs and restorations. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can support us by sharing the podcast with your friends. And also, you can support us with money at patreon.com/used2sew. Thank you for listening to us here at Used to Sew. We always welcome your additions, corrections, and feedback in general. Please reach out to us via email at usedtosew@gmail.com. Used to Sew is a production of Fox and Raven Media. For more podcasts from Fox and Raven Media, visit our website at foxandravenmedia.com.